Alright, what is going on, guys? It's Republic Bricks back here with another video. So this video is going to be buying and selling with Republic Bricks and hype for the big auctions I have that will be going on for 2 weeks from June 22nd, 2019 to July 6th, 2019. So as you guys can see, I have already started the inventory game basically, and that is basically what's going on. As you guys can see, we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5, probably about 8 base plates full of minifigures, and then you have a whole bunch of weapons as well. Then you have some non-Star Wars. You have a few sets over there, some sealed sets. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sealed sets, and then some expensive, non-minifigure characters such as Rancor, Jabba the Hutt, the Dewback with the expensive Sand Trooper, the little T-Boo thing, Wampa and whatnot. So, anyways, oh, and then not to forget about this right here, the huge Lego Star Wars 10 years poster, which is really rare, especially framed like this in mint condition. So that is going to be an awesome thing to auction. That is not going to be auctioned. That is for my personal collection there. So as you guys can see, lots and lots of items here. This is only about 40% of the stuff that I have coming in. So what we'll talk about today in buying and selling with Republic Bricks is just getting your inventory up, what measures to take, how to save some money, and just other things. So going into it, let's just start off. I was going about inventory, so I'm just gonna be for people who are watching this, this may be some repeat stuff, but there's always new good stuff in these videos, and I kind of just do it on top of my head. So eventually, I'll just go off on a tangent, and who knows what we'll end up talking about by the time the 10 minutes is up here. So what we'll talk about is inventory. So you guys just want to be smart if you're doing this for reselling purposes, where you get your inventory, how you get it. One mistake that I made in the past was when I purchased $17,000 worth of Lego. Although, it was all from one purchase, and although it did have some benefits, a big misconception or a big problem with that, there was many, but we'll go into a few of them right now. One of them was I didn't know exactly what I was getting. So if you're ever about to deal out a large sum, I know most of you are not going to be dealing out a sum that large, but when you are dealing out a large sum of money, you want to be very careful and you want to know exactly what you're getting. Don't be afraid to just take a sample. Tell the person you just want a sample of it. So that way you know exactly what you're getting, especially when it was like in big piles. Like if you go back and watch some of my videos, you'll see there's just some big piles and stuff like that. I didn't know exactly what I was getting. I thought I knew I was getting, but you really don't know what you're getting until you start sitting down and going through it all. And then you're like, oh, hell yes, I got a great deal. Or you're like, oh boy, I am in trouble. So that is one thing I really recommend being careful with big purchases like that. And another thing, what happened is I always have one of my cornerstones is always having good products, good quality products. And when I had all that come in such a short amount of time and so many people wanted certain items, my quality control went from here, or it was up here, and it just took a big dip down. And that was a big issue that ended up just causing me more problems, and it's problems I'm still getting over because either left a bad rep or bad rap with somebody, or word got out that I don't sell the top tier products, which is false. But during that time period, sometimes when I would be selling bulk minifigures and whatnot, since I had so much, I wasn't able to check all the minifigures like I normally do. So sometimes minifigures that were not to my normal condition got out, and then people will post about it because they'd be pissed off, rightfully so, and then that would just hurt business. So what you need to do is just be very careful with that. That was, I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't my fault. It was my fault for not taking the time and going through and making sure. But again, I made the mistake from purchasing that whole thing to begin with, and yeah, so you just want to be careful with those big purchases, stuff like that. Like, if you know exactly what you're getting, like, you want to see it all lined up, and you want to be able to calculate the profit and stuff like that. And I was just getting bags and bags and bags of stuff, and shit, I didn't know if it was good or bad. It's just like, all right, well, it's 12,000 figures or so they say, so you know I'm gonna be able to triple my money, and that's probably not the smartest way to be going about it. I can speak from experience from that. So that is definitely just one thing that you really want to think about when you are purchasing, is just be careful about what you're buying and how much of it, because you never know. And I'm able to do these smaller purchases now where, I mean, look at all these fire figures that I got in, and it cost me a fraction of what it cost me for the big purchases. And you just want to be careful where you're getting it from. And if you're getting it from where it's like, oh, where the figure might not be pristine condition, make sure to check the minifigure then to confirm that it is in pristine condition before just selling it. There's also places that you guys can just flip your Legos. Lots of people say eBay. Should I go through eBay and stuff like that? I don't recommend eBay personally for selling. Buying, yes, you'll find lots of good deals on there. Selling wise, I say no, because you got to deal with PayPal fees and then eBay fees, and then if you're making over $20,000 a year in revenue, not profit, in revenue, you got to deal with taxes. All three of those, you're left with about this much profit, $0. So you don't want to be. Personally, I don't. That's the reason why I don't deal with eBay, unless I'm just trying to sell like clothes or something I don't really care too much about, and I can just say I'll take the fees out. It doesn't really matter to me. But that's why I don't suggest eBay, especially when you're new. I mean, if you want to do it full time, I mean, eventually you will be able to get up hundreds of feedback, and then eBay really reduces the fee. But you gotta eat so much fees at the beginning. I don't really know if it's worth it. Bricklink, I mean, just some of the buyers on there can just be whack, and especially with international shipping, it's an easy way of people scamming you. So that is one of the reasons why I don't use Bricklink. And we'll actually go into one of the main reasons why I went to Lego auctions and not Bricklink. It's kind of a funny story. We'll go in that in the next Buying and Selling Republic Breaks. So that's something for you to look forward to. But that's why I really recommend Instagram selling, Discord selling, if you can build up the base for it, and we'll go into more detail about that. In my previous videos, I really go into detail about how you can really build up your base. Shout outs, daily posts really help. YouTube videos, hyping this stuff up. Like, look at this, guys. I mean, this is just half of the stuff for the auction. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys are getting excited for my June 22nd to July 6th auctions. I mean, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on June 22nd on Instagram. I'm pretty sure, I know most of you guys will be attending, because if this is not even half the stuff. So again, if you can start building up it, there's lots of stuff. It's pretty crazy. I find social media and this whole internet wave in these past few years to be quite scary, because there's I'm gonna say we're gonna be feeling the repercussions of it in a few years, and I don't really know what's gonna happen. It's just this digital age is really scary, but there's also lots of good stuff to it, which is being able to do stuff like this, and it opens the door to you not having to work a 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. job, because this is a gateway for me, so then I don't have to do that, in the future after college. I'm going to be able to invest in my future companies and stuff like that, and all started because of stuff like this. And plus, you're able to get either kids, adults, collectors, all the items that they want, and it's pretty cool to do, and it's fun. It's not too much work. You're making a good amount per hour, much more than any minimum wage job, and maybe even more than your parents if you can continue working hard and stuff like that. So you never know. I see lots of people who have done this as their full-time jobs. They sell Lego when they're older. I mean, I don't really know if I want to do something like that, but yeah, it's definitely it's a plausible step that you can take. You just got to be smart with your investments, and remember, good things take time. You got to have patience and whatnot, and that's a lot of problems with people who do these auctions, or who say, 'cause I'm sure when I see let's just say football or baseball, when you see Cody Bellinger, if you guys watch baseball, if you're the Dodgers, when he's hitting dinger after dinger, you see Tom Brady, throwing touchdown after touchdown, it's like, I want to go play football. It inspires you. And I'm sure when people see all these sales and stuff like that, and it's going to say, inspires them. Or when you see MOCS that people build, a big clone bases or whatnot, it inspires them. It's like, I want to do that now. Let me go out and do this. And then you get out and do it, and it's like, oh shit, this is pretty hard. And that's very true. It's very true. That's true with basically everything in life. Nothing is easy, because if it was easy, everyone would do it. That's why good things take time. And this is why, if you want to do something like this, I mean, this has been what, let me see. Republic Bricks started in December 2016. Auction started April of 2017. So this has been over 2 years in the making. And then I had a whole bunch of bumps in the road when I was younger. Like, when you're 15 and you're 14, you're going to make mistakes. I made more mistakes than probably most people, but no, maybe not. But I definitely made mistakes. I pissed off a lot of people when I was, 15 and 14, and not 16 too much. I kind of laid low, but 15, you're a young kid, and you know what? If you're watching this when you're your age, if you make smarter decisions then, I mean, I know it's pretty hard, and when you're 16 and 15, you think you know everything and kind of say stupid things and whatnot. So, especially if you're starting off at that age, it's even a better age to start off. Just keep yourself clean. Don't do anything stupid like I did. If a deal is too good to be true, most likely that was one of my downfalls. Or if you think you can fool people, most likely you cannot. Now, again, was one of my downfalls when I was younger, naive and being a silly 15-year-old. So, again, really like I said, we probably would go off in a tangent on this video, and we ended up doing that. But patience, I've highlighted this in a past buying and selling with Republic Bricks, but I'm telling you, that's really the key. And I understand someone maybe like 18 or 19, like, I don't know if I want to do this full time. I don't have the patience for it. I completely understand. You can try rushing it, but like I said, good things take time. If you can get that girl within one date, probably isn't the best one. I mean, maybe she is, but, usually good things take time. You're not going to be able to run a sub 4-minute mile, training once a week, or training for super hard for 2 weeks and then hoping, you will all of a sudden be able to run that. Or if you do gym work and you can't just lift weights super hard for 2 weeks and go on a crazy diet and think you're going to lose 20 pounds and look like freaking The Rock or something. So, like I said, good things take time. It can be very annoying at times, especially with this. Like, it can be really annoying sometimes, but if you're just patient with it, that is definitely, that's something I have learned with running, with Legos, just life in general. If you're just patient, good things will come over time. You got to strike sometimes, though. You can't miss up opportunities, but don't be afraid to just, be patient with stuff. It's like, I have been patient on some items where I lack from it too. I'm someone who likes inventory in and out. I want all this stuff gone, to be honest with you. I like it in, I like it out within 24 hours. That's when I was able to do those daily auctions. I mean, I still could do it right now, but I want to build up hype for the big sales. In and out, just like that. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But sometimes you got to learn to hold. Now, like with the San Diego Comic-Con figures right there, right here, you gotta learn to hold on to them for a little bit. If don't rush it. You'll get your value for it if you continue to hold on and be patient with it. So sometimes you got to do that. If you don't want if you paid $12 for your 500 first clone, that it's sold for $22 in an auction before. Let's just say it has, hypothetically, and then all of a sudden it's at $13 in your auction right now. Don't be afraid to say, hey, we're gonna hold on to this one for now. Well, I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It's business. Supply and demand. And it's not like you're forced to sell an item to someone just because, they really want it. Like, if they really want it, they can pay the price that you want for it. And, that's another thing. We'll get into cash is king, in another video. Because, so most of the time the buyer does have some power. But, as a seller, if the demand is going to go up, don't hold on to it. If you're the only one with the item, or you have the cheapest price for the item, don't be afraid to just say no. So again, and the same thing applies if you're a buyer. It's like, hey, dude, you have 10,000 figures. Who else is gonna pay you $15,000 for 10,000 figures? You want 20,000? Okay, go pound sand and try to sell all those figures by themselves, and then when they realize how much work that is, they'll probably come back down to your price. But we'll get into more of that stuff in another video. For now, I think this is long enough. I think we're already pushing on 15 minutes, so if you watch this long, Well, I guess you maybe learned a little bit of something today, or you just heard me rambling on. I hope you guys are getting hyped for the June 22nd to July 6th auctions. As you guys, tomorrow I have a whole bunch of packages coming in. I would assume all the sets will be down there, all the guns will be down there, and we'll have probably about 3 or 4 more base plates filled with stuff, tons of custom clones and whatnot coming in today. If you're watching this in a few years, or whenever you're watching it in the future, that's pretty cool that you are. So have a great day, guys. God bless, and make sure to leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you're not already. We're already over 4,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Make sure to check out my Instagram at REPUBLICBRICKS, and I'll see you next time. And REPUBLICBRICKS.com, my website.